Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. It's another episode of Defending the Boys. This is the Dallas Cowboys Lunch Report. It's the lunch report. If you are at lunch, by the time you finish with your lunch, you should know everything you need to know about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm live. I got to make sure that my little piece of hair. So I ain't got no hair back. I'm playing. Y'all know I got some hair back here, but it's going thin. I don't know what's going on. This is Dallas Cowboys Lunch Report. I am your host, D. Will, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys, just giving you everything you need to know about the Cowboys in a 30-minute period of time. That's what our goal is today. We're going to talk about, a little bit about the playoffs. We're going to talk about coaching. We're going to talk about free agency. We're going to talk a little bit about the draft. Throw in some, in case you missed it, with Donovan Ezeraku and Deron Bland. And we're going to do it all right now.
They are an accident waiting to happen. Stephen Day, hush your mouth, talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty D, Texas where we stay at. Being inside in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and now we don't play that. Work. This is Cowboy Nation. Work. Welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work. Y'all can keep on hate. Work.
Cowboys Nation, I'm very excited. We're going to talk a little bit today. We're going to talk about, like I said, the playoffs, a little bit about the coaching search, the free agency situation. Now, I will say that although we're not ready quite yet, we're very excited about our partnership with Car Connect. We have a partnership with Car Connect. It is going to be forthcoming, and they have special deals just for you guys, just for the people with Defending the Boys. So I'm very excited about that. But we're going to really get into a little bit of information just about what the Dallas Cowboys are doing. I do want to start off with this. Just a little fun fact. If you watched the playoffs this weekend, you should never say C.J. Stroud is better than Dak Prescott. That's it. That's all I got to say. Hey, you should never say that C.J. Stroud is better than Dak Prescott. Nah, you should probably never say that. That's just a little fun fact. Nothing to really hang your hat on, but just want you guys to kind of know that. We do have a lot of good playoff news. The Bears had a thrilling loss. The 49ers were blown out. Let me tell you something about the Chicago Bears losing. First thing about the Chicago Bears losing is they've had the longest streak besides the Dallas Cowboys, 15 years without going to the championship game. That does continue. Hopefully, if the Cowboys can ever make it, that will put them in last place, and it's really good. We're already double the amount of time that they are, so we're still not doing much better. But, I'm just saying, misery loves company, so it's actually good for the Bears to lose. I will say that the Bears having a good team this year, that kind of puts in perspective, because part of the anger back when we played the Chicago Bears was feeling that they were trash. Like, we thought they was trash. Yeah, that's what we thought they were. And, okay, so they weren't trash. And don't get me wrong, we got destroyed in that game. We definitely weren't a playoff team this year. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just simply saying Chicago Bears weren't trash when we played it. And to me, it's kind of like an answered prayer. You know what I mean?
Lord have mercy. The Lord is my shepherd. He knows what I want.
The Lord is my shepherd. He knows what I want. Anyway, the 49ers got blown out. We never cheer for them. You know what we're really good at? We're really good as Cowboys Nation. We're really, really, really good at cheering against other teams. We wanted for Philadelphia to lose last week. We wanted the 49ers to lose this week. I don't really know who you were cheering for with the Bears. I haven't really quite figured that part out because I don't know. I'm just saying guess it could have went anyway because they beat us this year. But I'm just saying we're really good at cheering against people. And that showed up once again because the 49ers got blown out. I don't get any joy out of that. I mean, yeah, you can come sit on the bench with me. You know what I will notice is that when you're not in the playoffs, then you don't get talked about so bad. We used to always be mad that Dak Prescott was playing in the playoff game, maybe didn't play that well, and then everybody was saying that people who weren't in the playoffs was a better quarterback, and just wait until next year, and they're going to show you, right? Well, now we kind of have that reverse psychology, right? Now we can actually say, hey, look, CJ Stroud is trash, right? And don't ever disrespect Dak Prescott's name again, and next year he's going to show you what he has. I mean, it worked for them. I don't know why it wouldn't work for us, because it definitely worked for them back then, because they had us heated with the Dak Prescott talking how he wasn't any good. And I mean, so let's really get into it here. Let me pull it up. Let's pull up what the scores were. We know that the Rams beat the Bears 20-17. It was actually a pretty good game. I know that a lot of Chicago fans were very disappointed, right? They were very disappointed because they feel like they had a miracle pass that got them in overtime, only to have pretty idiotic interception send them back home. And to Chicago fans, they kind of felt like that's kind of the Chicago way. I will tell you this, they haven't been good for a very long time. So to make it to where they made it, a lot of fans are probably still happy. It's funny because they can be happy for that type of loss. I feel as if the Cowboys had gotten to the same level and lost, it would have been a totally different conversation, right? We would have definitely been harping on the Dak Prescott interception at the end, not the incredible pass to get us into overtime. It's just a different fan base is what I'm basically getting at. So as you are watching some of these games, I mean, kind of, maybe take note and pay attention, and maybe we don't get so high and so low. I feel like Cowboys fans are always either high or they're low. We're either the best or we're the worst. We never feel like we're a middle of the road team. Now this year, like defense, we was the worst. There's no cap. There's no way of even looking at it. We were definitely the worst as far as defense was concerned. But I'm just saying, in general, as fans, that's what we are. We know that Denver is moving on. That means a little bit to the Cowboys. Denver Broncos actually beat the Buffalo Bills. If you want to talk about the interception, I know this has nothing to do with the Cowboys, but I've never seen as a player that interception called, right? However, understanding the rules, I kind of understand it. I know people don't want to hear that, but I kind of understand it. I understand the interception. He never had control, but the ball never hit the ground. The defensive player ended up getting it. I mean, if the defensive player would not have been there, that would have been an incomplete pass, unless it fell back down on him, I would say. So the fact that he never kept control of it and then it ended up in the arms of the defender sounds like an interception. Looking at it, it didn't feel like an interception, but describing it, it sounded like an interception. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but the Denver Broncos did move forward. That means that once again, we cannot do an interview with someone that we felt like could be our defensive coordinator in Leonard. We won't be able to do that unless they win this next game the week of the bye before the Super Bowl. We can actually interview him in person then, and we can start to make our decisions. So we understand that we have at least one more week probably before we can actually do anything with Leonard in that situation. Now, with that being said, there is some news out there. Let me pull it up. There is some news that Durante Jones, this came from Nick Harris. Nick Harris said Durante Jones has blown away. I'm talking about absolutely blown away the front office and the coaching staff of the Cowboys. And that's kind of exciting. I mean, I know that the Vikings defense is intriguing to the Cowboys as a whole. And I'm talking about front office Cowboys, not fans Cowboys, right? But the Vikings defense was intriguing to the Cowboys as a whole. So the way that they're looking at it is basically to be able to get somebody that was in that system that can bring a similar system here in Dallas could possibly be something that they really, really, really like. I honestly didn't give Durante Jones a chance of making it when I first heard it. I kind of thought it was just we gotta interview some people, and so we're gonna throw this guy's name out there. I felt that way. I didn't have anything to prove it, or that there was nothing out there that said it or anything like that. It's just how I felt, and apparently I was wrong, or maybe I wasn't wrong. But he did an incredible job on his first interview, which led to a second interview, and then supposedly, according to Nick Harris, he did a wonderful job on the second interview. That could bring a little bit of differences. Now, we're still early in this whole process. Season's been over for the Cowboys for 3 years. It's technically still going on. So the 2025-26 season is still moving. So they don't even have to make that decision now. But obviously, people like Jesse Holley really believe that the Cowboys need to make a decision now. I think that's going to be difficult with probably one of their front runners still playing football, still coaching football. It's hard to just say, hey, we're going to hire you if he's still playing. So we can't make a decision now. And because we can't, that means we're not really getting kind of a leg up on strategy for what our defense is going to be next year. Players need to understand what their roles are going to be so that they know what to train for. But in fairness, this is probably the few little rest period that they actually have. They're not training yet anyway. By the time it's time to train, I'm pretty sure the Cowboys will have a coach hired. The coaches will have started meeting with the players, and these players can start to really know, kind of what they need to be doing. I just want to move along because, again, we don't have a whole lot of time. I just want to do this during your lunch period. This is the Dallas Cowboys lunch report. So we're just trying to get to all of the top things, and we'll go into details in some of the other videos that we actually do. DeMarcus Lawrence was right, and I'm upset about that. I don't like that at all. DeMarcus Lawrence said that he could not win a Super Bowl here in Dallas, and so he went to Seattle. And at the time, I was like, and you ain't going to win one in Seattle. I was wrong. DeMarcus Lawrence was right. I don't like it. I'm not going to spend any time talking about it, but he was right. In case you missed it, Donovan Ezraku was arrested last week. It was a misdemeanor. He hasn't figured out where in Dallas you can speed because up there about where the Cowboys are, ain't no speeding up there. You probably won't come on down south if you want to be on the Autobahn somewhere because the Dallas Police Department is very, 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 very busy. They're not picking up speeding tickets. So if you just have to, and I prefer that you not because I don't want you to be in an injury, or if you do get an injury, call the car wreck attorneys that, I'm hit. I'm just saying. Just give them a phone call, 214-446-3885. But anyway, we prefer that you not be in an injury, but if you have to speed, don't do it up there in Frisco. That's not a good idea. DaRon Bland did undergo. DaRon Bland, he just had his second surgery in 2 years. Are we worried about that? Somebody put some crutches in the somebody put the crutches in the chat if y'all think we're worried about that. Is that a problem? Is that something that we need to be watching for? Put the eyes in the chat if y'all think that we need to be paying attention to this very, very, very closely. If you think we need to pay attention to DaRon Bland very, very, very closely, then please put the eyes in the chat and we'll start paying attention to that. Because I'm a little nervous. We're banking on DaRon Bland being DaRon Bland before he got all his money. When I say we're banking on it, we're banking on it. We're going to, at best, get a top prospect at corner. And at worst, just another young gun that we're taking a chance on. And we're going to be taking a chance on one corner already. That's assuming making some very high-level assumptions that DaRon Bland and Siobhan Revel is going to be okay. Siobhan Revel is, in my opinion, going to very much so benefit from a better scheme and a full offseason. He didn't get an opportunity to do that this year as far as practice. Obviously he was doing all the things necessary to get back on the field, but as far as practice, he didn't have that. I think he'll benefit from that. I don't know what DaRon Bland is going to be with another surgery. the doubt hitting his mind. To me, cornerback is always about confidence. If you're not confident as a cornerback, you're going to get burnt over and over and over again. I don't know where his head level is going to be. I'm nervous with this surgery, but that's something that I feel like we should pay attention to. If you agree with me, again, put the eyes in the chat. Let me know that you agree with me. Also, if you got any questions or anything like that, put it in the chat. If I don't get a chance to answer it today, which I should, because there ain't that many people in here, so I should be able to see it. But go ahead and put your questions down there, and we'll get to answering those questions ASAP. Okay. Let's see the draft. Just real quick before I let you guys go, I do want to reiterate what I believe the Cowboys should do and are going to do in the draft. Because there's a lot of questions that's coming up, and we want to know if the Cowboys are going to do what they're supposed to do. Are they going to take advantage of the opportunity that they have, or are they going to do typical Dallas Cowboys things and start to blow this situation up and not make the right decisions? And a lot of people are talking about, like, even if the opportunity for a new running back comes, should you take it? I will tell you this. I've heard from some very good sources. I'm not just talking because I don't have inside sources other than the fact that I know a few players, right? So I'm not just talking about the people online who are saying this, but I've heard from the few little connects that I have, friends of friends, yada, 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 that the Cowboys are pretty excited about what Blue and not Maffa, but Blue and Williams are going to be next year. According to what they're thinking is, now this is something I did hear from another podcast. I think it was Brian Broaddus, but I don't remember exactly who it was. But they're basically saying that, no, it was DLLS. I'm sorry, it was DLLS. What they were basically saying was that Blue had issues picking up the offense. He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't, or not that he wasn't paying attention, but he wasn't picking it up fast. He wasn't able to get everything, the full nuances of what the full of the offense is. And Brian Schottenheimer couldn't trust him. It wasn't about trusting him with fumbles, but it was trusting him with pass blocking, trusting him with being in the right place so that if Dak needed an outlet, he could get it over to him, those type of things. And he started picking that up, but it took him way longer. The curve was way too long. But now that he has it, and it's the exact same offense moving into next year, they feel like it's going to be a much better situation for him. And with that being the case, I don't believe that they will waste an opportunity to make this defense that was worse than the league. They won't waste the opportunity of making that defense better by drafting a running back. That's just how I feel. And my actual hope is that we go corner linebacker. The linebacker is the biggest thing that we're missing. That's the biggest thing that we're missing. We're missing that. We got to get that. I don't know what else to tell you. But with that being said, we'll probably go corner first because the best corners we're going to have to get early. Linebackers, we can get that, we can get that a little bit later. We can get the linebackers a little bit later. And I think that that's what the Cowboys are going to be able to do. And I think at 20, you should be able to. You probably won't get Arvell Reese and you probably won't get Sonny Styles, but you can still get C.J. Allen. And you can still get, what's the kid? Tony Hill, Anthony Hill Jr. You can still get him out of Texas. I'm late to the game on Tony Hill. I wasn't a fan until just recently. I started listening and watching, and Anthony Hill Jr. is pretty good. The last time, and this is another fun fact, the last time the Cowboys had an Anthony Hill Jr. on their team, they won a Super Bowl. Mind you, that was 1977, but they won a Super Bowl with Anthony Hill Jr. Just a fun fact. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if it's history repeating itself. You get Anthony Hill Jr., do you automatically win a Super Bowl? Probably not, but it's something to think about. From the free agency, real quick, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to make this just 20 minutes, so I got about 30 seconds. But free agency, I have a full video on free agency and what that means, but I do know that we have to redo Dak Prescott's contract. We need to sign George Pickens. We do not need to franchise him. We need to get him to a long deal so we can spread out what the cap hit is, make it available. We also need to get Williams locked in. We need to get Aubrey locked in. In my opinion, if you're going to go cornerback and linebacker in the draft, you're going to need to do something with, and I'm gonna be a little bit longer. I see that now, but we're gonna need to do something with an edge. Does that mean Trey Hendrickson? I have a whole video up about him. Does that mean Khalil Mack? I feel like he's too old. You know, I don't think you get Jalen from the Eagles. I don't think that's a possibility. I don't know. No Jalen Phillips. I don't know what to do. I would say that Trey Hendrickson, the trade for Max Crosby, to me, is just too much. Like, we need too much to make that trade. We have way too many holes to make that trade. We need to get to it. And so I just don't feel like that's going to be anything that we're going to be able to do. So Trey Hendrickson, in my opinion, is really the only edge situation that we can do in the offseason. But we'll see. Offseason is coming, and we'll be able to figure it out. Last thing, another fun fact. Did you know that Brian Schottenheimer is now the only coach in the NFC East that has never coached in the Super Bowl? We got to change that, Cowboys. Hey, this is Defending the Boys Cowboys Lunch Break. I am your host, D. Will. And until tomorrow, same time, 12 noon, I'm out.